Well, hello, sports fans. Larry Eater, RunBlogRun. This is the epilogue where I talk to myself, Larry's monologue, and this is for Athletics Chat number 92. We were talking about Stuart Weir and I, Stuart's in Oxford, England. Of course, your response, the intellectual capital of the world. I'm in Fort Atkinson, Wisconsin, the cheese capital and beer capital of the world. And we were chatting about the World Indoor Champs, which happened in Belgrade, Serbia a week ago, which were fantastic. They were on Saturday during the 10 World Champ Indoor Finals. 10 different countries won gold medals. Pretty cool, huh? There were 619 athletes from 129 countries. I thought it was pretty cool. We watched it on Peacock TV and had the pleasure of seeing Rob Walker, who normally does World Athletics Radio, and Hannah England, a world champ medalist at the 1500, with Jenny Meadows, who has won numerous medals at the 800 and now coaches with her husband, Keely Hodgkinson. It was a fantastic championships. They did a session every day from 3 a.m. Wisconsin time till about 7. I got up a little later and watched that. And then we had a late morning session as well. So we got to see all the good stuff and no commercials. So I highly recommend Peacock. It rocked. And very, very happy with the coverage there. But we were talking about some of the events that we truly enjoy. The women's pole vault, we spent a lot of time on with Sandy Morris and Katie Najat, gold and silver for the U.S. They will be players in Eugene, along with Tina Sutej, Holly Bradshaw. Whether Anzelika Sidorova gets to come is really up to Mr. Putin and his love of invading places that don't belong to him. So we'll have to see how that goes. The 400s on both the men and women's sides were fantastic. Shawnee Miller-Weibo, Femke Bull, Stephanie McPherson on the women's side. On the men's side, Dream Richards. And why am I going to? Trevor Bassett from Ashland University was second. That was just a brilliant race. And the young man from Sweden, Carl Bengstrom, looked fantastic as well. Both 800s changed a lot in the last 24 hours for the races, with Elliot Giles from Great Britain pulling out with a slight injury, and Keely Hodgkinson from Great Britain pulling out with a slight injury. Ajay Wilson ran a brilliant race. So Stuart and I were commenting about it. Normally, Ajay leads from the beginning, and that's kind of been her modus operandi during most of her career. She showed a real amount of self-control, and she was rewarded with a brilliant race and one of the largest margins in world indoor history over the women's 800. It was fantastic. Mariano Garcia, who U.S. fans saw beat up Bryce Hoppel a bit at the New Balance indoor games, took the gold here with young, Noah Kibet, and then Bryce Hoppel. So went 1, 2, 3. It was Marco Arop from Canada led for 605 meters, and then that party was over. Garcia took off and gave Spain its first 800 gold medal since 1985. Pretty impressive, huh? Thank God for stat books. Both 1500s I thought were pretty good. Gudaf Sagay won going away. One of the photos I titled is "The Loneliness of the Long Distance Runner." I mean, she had total real estate on that race and looked really, really good. On the men's side, Samuel Tefera had a closer race with our friend Jakob Ingebrigtsen, who developed COVID or tested positive for COVID the day after. Did it affect him during the race? Of course it did. But because it's those little bitty things in a championship race, if you're just a little bit off, it changes from gold to silver to bronze to nothing. Case in point, our friend Grant Holloway at the Olympics was just a little bit off, just over that last hurdle. And Hansley Parchment noticed it in the semis and took the gold and took advantage of the situation, which is what an athlete's supposed to do. Grant left nothing up to chance in Belgrade. His races were brilliant, unforgiving, and dominating. And that's what he needed to do. And that's what he'll need to do in Eugene. All of these races are giving Eugene there's so many great stories that writers could do. And I can spend all day talking about that. The biggest one, I believe, is going to be the men's 100. Marcel Jacobs, crazy long jumper, versus Christian Coleman, and whoever else surprises us at the U.S. Olympic trials. The new Hayward Field, fantastic. I was there several times last year and loved it. It's going to be a worthy sanctuary for the World Outdoor Championships. I believe it'll be a sellout. So get your seats. I think the hardest thing is going to be is getting a place to stay. I've seen Airbnbs going for $1,000 a night. I think I saw one for $10,000 a night. We were able to do something early, thanks to the quick movement of my girlfriend, and we're able to get a place between the U.S. Championships and the World Championships for the same price people are paying for the 9 days of the Worlds. So there's places out there. I would suggest watching out for some of the hotels. I stayed at a place in Springfield last year that was like Heroin Alley, a Motel 6, and I would not stay there again. It was rather scary watching people inject various substances underneath the stairs. It was watching a pretty bad murder mystery. Anyhow, and the air conditioning went out for the last 3 days too. So glad I found a place to stay. I hope everybody else can find places to stay. Thank you again for listening to my rants in the Epilogue for Athletics chat number 92. Thanks to Mike Deering, our creative and production manager at the Shoe Addicts, for recording this. And thank you to Stuart Weir for doing a late recording at 9:45 at night in lovely Oxford. This is Larry Eater. Stay safe. Tell someone that you care about them today. Okay?